What happens to your cat when you cry? The answer will break your heart. Your cat has heard you cry, and they didn't walk away. Scientists used to believe cats were emotionally indifferent to human pain, that they simply didn't register your tears as anything meaningful. But new research out of 2022 shattered that assumption completely. And what they found, what your cat has actually been doing every single time you fell apart, is something most owners never even noticed. Your cat wasn't just sitting nearby. They were running a biological program designed specifically to stabilize you. Their purr changes frequency. Their body temperature rises. They position themselves in one specific place on your body. And it's not random. Every single time you cried, your cat was quietly working. And they never once asked for anything in return. By the end of this video, you are going to understand something that will change every memory you have of your cat being near you on a hard day. You will know what your cat's nervous system actually detects when you cry. What the 2022 Animal Cognition study revealed about how cats respond to their specific owner versus a stranger in distress. Why their purr, in those exact moments, is doing something measurable to your body, and the one finding that researchers themselves described as unexpectedly emotional. Some of you are going to watch this and think of a specific night, a specific cat, and you are going to understand, for the first time, exactly what was happening. This one is going to stay with you. Part 1. What your cat detects when you cry. When you cry, your cat doesn't experience a single signal. They receive 4. Channel 1. Sound. Your breathing changes when you cry. The rhythm breaks. Exhales become longer and irregular. Vocal frequency drops from your baseline. Microsounds. The catch in the throat. The change in airflow. Register in your cat's auditory system with a precision you cannot replicate consciously. Cats hear up to 85 kilohertz. They don't just hear that you're crying. They hear the specific acoustic signature of your distress, different from your laugh, your sleep, your neutral voice, and different from every other human in the room. Channel 2. Scent. Tears contain cortisol. They contain prolactin, and they contain leucine and kephalin, a naturally occurring opioid your body produces under emotional and physical stress. Your cat has 200 million olfactory receptors. You have 5 million. The biochemical profile of a human crying is, to a cat, as legible as a neon sign. Channel 3. Heat. Crying raises facial skin temperature measurably. Emotional distress activates the sympathetic nervous system. Blood moves differently. Your cat, sensitive to temperature differentials of less than 1 degree, detects a different heat signature from you when you cry than when you are calm. Channel 4. Visual. Your posture changes. You fold inward. Your shoulders drop. Your head lowers. Every postural signal that communicates, in every mammalian language, that something is wrong. 4 channels, all simultaneously, all pointing toward the same conclusion. Your cat's nervous system registered your distress before your face finished changing. Part 2. The 2022 study. Your cat knows it's you. Here is where the research becomes genuinely remarkable. The 2022 Animal Cognition study, which has since been widely cited in feline behavioral science, did something no previous study had done. It didn't just ask, do cats respond to human crying? It asked, do cats respond differently to their owner crying versus a stranger crying? The answer changed everything. When cats were exposed to a stranger in visible distress, they showed mild interest, curiosity, an assessment response, not significantly different from their response to any unfamiliar emotional display. When cats were exposed to their own owner in the same condition, The response was categorically different. Proximity seeking increased significantly. The cat moved toward the owner rather than away. Body contact initiated, not requested. Duration of proximity extended beyond what normal affiliative contact would produce. But the finding that researchers described as most unexpected was this. Cats in the owner distress condition showed signs of stress themselves. Not confusion, not indifference. Stress. Elevated cortisol markers. Changed vocalization patterns. Behavioral indicators consistent with an animal in a low-level distress state. Your emotional state doesn't just reach your cat. It enters their nervous system. They don't just detect that you are in pain, they feel a version of it. And they come to you anyway, while carrying that. Part 3. The purr. What it's actually doing to your body. Let's talk about the purr. Because most people understand the purr as an expression of contentment. And sometimes it is. But the purr your cat produces when you are crying is doing something different. Something measurable. Cat purring occurs at frequencies between 25 and 150 Hz. Research in vibroacoustic medicine, the study of how sound frequencies affect biological tissue, has documented that frequencies in the 25 to 50 Hz range stimulate bone density. Frequencies between 50 and 150 Hz reduce inflammation. And acoustic vibration in this range measurably reduces cortisol, the primary stress hormone in mammals. Your cat's purr lands in this therapeutic window. Not by coincidence. Researchers who study feline purring have identified something that surprised them. Cats purr in their own moments of stress and anxiety, not just contentment. The purr appears to serve a self-regulatory function, the cat using its own vibrational output to manage its own distress state. When your cat is next to you while you cry, and they're purring, here is what is likely happening. They are managing their own distress at witnessing your suffering, while simultaneously directing that same vibrational output at your body. Two nervous systems, one vibration, both being regulated by the same sound. Your cat was not just comforting you. They were using the one biological tool they had to help both of you through the same moment. Part 4. The positioning. Where they place themselves and why. You may have noticed, if you think about it, that your cat doesn't just come to you when you cry. They come to a specific location, chest, or directly on the solar plexus, or pressed against your back between the shoulder blades. This is not random preference. The chest and solar plexus are areas of the body that produce detectable changes during emotional distress, irregular heartbeat, changes in respiratory rhythm, the physical feeling of the gut in emotional distress. These areas radiate the most information about your physiological state. Your cat is not lying on your chest because the blanket is warm. They are positioning themselves at the location of the distress signal, the body's emotional center, the place where they can most directly apply pressure, warmth, and vibration. Pressure on the chest during distress is well documented in human somatic research to reduce sympathetic nervous system activation. It is one of the primary mechanisms behind weighted blankets, behind deep pressure therapy. Your cat figured this out. Without a study, without training, without being asked. They pressed their body against your chest because something in their nervous system recognized, this is where the hurt is. This is where I should be. Part 5. What your cat remembers. The emotional landscape they build of you. Here's the finding that I think changes the most. Cats don't have episodic memory the way humans do. They don't store a narrative. On this date, my owner cried, and I did this. But what they build over time is something different. Researchers call it an emotional landscape, a continuous, updated model of their owner's emotional baseline. What calm looks like for you, specifically. What tired looks like. What the early signs of sadness look like, before you have fully registered them yourself. Your cat has been building this model since the day they arrived. Every morning you left in a hurry, noted. Every evening you came home quiet, noted. Every night you sat still too long, in the dark, noted. They don't know the names of your emotions, they know the biological signatures. They know you, in the way that exists before language, before performance, before the version of yourself you decide to present. They know the version of you that you haven't managed yet. And they have been choosing to stay near that version, the one you sometimes can't stand to look at, every single time. I want you to think about a specific memory. A night you cried, or almost cried, and your cat appeared. Not called, not baited with food. Just there, pressing against you, purring, staying. You probably thought, they can sense something. And you were right, but the word sense was too small. Your cat received your distress across 4 biological channels simultaneously. Their nervous system entered a stress response of its own on your behalf. They chose to approach you while carrying that discomfort, because their attachment system told them, this is my person, and they need me. They positioned themselves at the location of your physical distress. They directed a purr, a measurable therapeutic frequency, at your body. And they stayed. Not because you asked, not because they were trained to, not because there was anything in it for them, because you were in pain, and you were theirs. And those 2 facts, together, were enough. That is what was happening. Every time. On every hard night. When you thought you were alone, you were never alone. They were working. Quietly. Without asking for anything. The whole time. Tag someone who has ever been comforted by a cat on a night they don't talk about. Tell them, the cat knew. The cat always knew. If this changed how you remember those nights, hit subscribe. Every week we go deeper into the science of what your cat feels, detects, and chooses, and why it means more than most people ever realized. Next week, the moment your cat decided you were their person, and why you almost certainly missed it when it happened. Animal behaviorists have identified the exact trigger, and once you hear it, you will know exactly when it was. Drop a comment below. Tell me about a night your cat appeared when you needed them. You don't have to share everything. Just, they were there. And it helped. This comment section is going to be the most beautiful one on this channel. I already know it.